I was going to talk a little bit about the gridlock that's affected federal forests since the early 90s. It's been primarily due to spotted owl is a big one. We had listing of that bird under the Endangered Species Act and how that was going to be dealt with on a forest, how much land you should set aside, how should you protect the species. It ended up going through quite a difficult litigation period that really closed most of the federal forest down for a number of years and reduced harvest to a level that is pretty minor at this point. The environmental movement kind of used that as an indicator of a way to stop timber harvest if you didn't want timber harvest. There's a lot of ways to prevent a timber sale if you don't like it. You can sue under Endangered Species Act. You can sue that the National Environmental Policy Act wasn't followed, NEPA. There's an Administrative Procedures Act. There's things under Marine Fisheries Service on listed species for fish that can deal with it. There's sensitive species. There's a number of environmental protections put in place to try to achieve something good on the ground that have been able to be used by groups that might just be opposed to timber harvest on any level that wanted to shut it down. And it's fairly easy, even if you don't win your lawsuit, you can stop a project and have it go through a fairly expensive, lengthy, and burdensome legal process to try to go through a defense to release something for harvest. During my tenure there, we always had something that was being litigated. A good part of the program, most of the time, was held up with something. Often a group could sue with a fairly broad brush approach to things that they felt were illegal, and basically only the cost of a stamp to have them submit that and be able to secure an injunction from favorable courts, and then you would be in a delay process that would take years to unravel in many cases. That was quite frustrating from a federal perspective, because you knew you had a good project, you did a lot of environmental analysis, you had actually brought it to the level where you had done the field work to get it prepared, sold it, had industry make a reasonable bid on it, there were people ready to go to work, and then they were held up at that point to try to just wait for it to get out of the court system. It was common to see 70 or 80 points that they would list in their claim, and you would need to have already addressed all of those. It was kind of what we call the shotgun approach. Someone could say, make a long laundry list of all the things they thought you didn't cover in your analysis, and if you had covered 79 out of 80, but maybe you didn't discuss one particular slug or snail or lizard or something that may have escaped your analysis or you didn't think was appropriate there, that could shut down your whole project and bring you back to the start of the drawing board again. And that happened, unfortunately, to us in a lot of cases.